Welcome to Consumer Behavior Marketing 247, offered by Harper College. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. Well, most of you have already made it for the first week. You did well in the forum. It was nice to meet all of you. I know this class is registered for, I think, like 15 or 20 students. We have about like 7 or 8 that are signed in. There was a misunderstanding when the first day of class starts, and that was something that was by default somehow stated February 19 as online orientation, which there isn't any. So what's going to happen is I'm going to leave week 1 open for those who are going to come in late. And so they'll have to do week 1 and week 2 today. So going forward, we should do all right. Most of your forms are very interesting. A lot of you did very well in the posting, going back and forth, going forward. Remember, my forms has a rubrics, so if you look at the rubrics, I'm looking at within this week's forms, like any forms. Look at my one YouTube that I have on the forms. But so what are we going to do this week? So this week we're going to go forward. We're going to do we're going to cover 2 chapters. We're going to cover chapters 3, which is Changing American Society Values, which is very interesting. It's looking about different changes in the values of Americans as a whole. Remember, when you're looking at Americans as a whole from a consumer perspective, I'm looking at different ethnic groups, different social groups, different social classes. But if I'm looking at it from a global perspective, when we look at American values, we're looking at second and third generation of American. First generations, they still had the values and everything else from the home country or the ethnic culture that they come back from. Usually about second and third generation, people living here in the United States will be assimilated, for lack of better words, and pick up the values of what we would consider American values. Okay, so look at the American values, you know, the religious, like it or not, we are, you know, when you read this chapter, even though we have we're very tolerant with different religions, we are basically a secular establishment or government. So we basically keep religion separate, even though religion is an issue. Look at the different material and non-material values, hard and working. You know, when we look at the next chapter, chapter 4, which we look at different generations. When I look at the working value. Americans work hard. They work the longest hours out of everyone in the whole global. But how effective and efficient they are is another issue. But we are hard workers compared to other people. But we are also innovators in new ideas. Now, different generations, the younger generation, they don't mind working hard, but they want to have fun and pleasure at the same time. So when you're looking at different values and hard working from a consumer perspective, how do I sell my products? Now, remember, everything you learn here as a consumer, how a consumer behaves, different generations, the same logic, the same mindset is what you'll be utilizing if you take me for management or supervision. I have to understand my employees. So now we're looking at different values in American. You're looking at different environmental values. You know, traditional change, cleanliness. Like Americans, we like everything very clean, tidy. We're problem solvers, for lack of better words. We like to overcome problems, no matter, and that's maybe it gets us into a little problem where we think we go in the country and change it because we are a fix-it. If you got a problem, we'll find a way to fix it. Sometimes it's going to take us longer time, but we want to fix it in a shorter time period than would be realistic, for lack of better words. Okay, different values, diversity of youth and age, competition, cooperation. If you look at the, you know, we're basically an individualistic society, but now we have to learn how to work with teams and be cooperative, since we're in a global setting. And most global cultures are looking at relationship building and team building, and that's where Americans have to look. Take away from our individualists, we still need that, but we also have to take that individual skill set, that individual mindset, and how do I utilize that within the team, okay? And look at, now the other one is marketing to gay and lesbian consumers. The book stated it's about like 7% of the populations are gay and lesbian, but they represent a higher percentage of disposable income, for lack of better words. So this is just what the research is showing. So now as a business person, let's say I'm a heterosexual and I want to target to that market. You know, the gay and lesbians, they don't really do I advertise in gay and lesbian magazines, or do I advertise in what would you call a traditional type of magazine? When you look at the reading for that market, only like 40% will actually read the gay and lesbian magazines versus looking at the information from the standard media publication. So from a marketing perspective, may want to hit that if that's a market I want that I see is untapped. And remember, I don't have to be gay or lesbian to hit that market. If I'm selling a product and a service that social that demographic group wants, it's irrelevant. Same thing if I'm Polish and I have a Hispanic or African American market that likes Polish food, it's irrelevant of my culture. If there's something that there's a need and I can satisfy it, it'll work. So this is real good reading, real good, look at it from your own perspective. There's a video I'm going to have you do on Pereira's Toyota's hybrid car, and to see which market they're trying to target. Okay, now chapter 4. Now, in between, I've been working on conceptual maps. Conceptual maps gives you the general outline and overview of what's happening in the chapter. I mean, I've also supplied you the PowerPoints. So you have all the PowerPoints and you have the concept maps. When you're reading, look at the highlighted, the learning objective, and add to it. So now chapter 4 is very interesting. Now, this is going to be part of your form. We all fall in, whether you like it or not, in certain dependence on when we were born and what kind of environmental factors affected us as a consumer, and how I look at life, depending on what's shown to me. As a baby boomer, technology. I grew with technology. I had to adjust to technology. I had to do a lot of adjustment. But then I have a different perspective versus if someone says a Generation Y or the new Z generation, which basically all they know is technology. They've never been in a generation or exposed to anything that didn't have technological usage within their environment. Okay, so you're looking at look at the baby boomers, you look at Generation X, look at the stereotypes for each one. So when you go into the forum, when you're doing the forum, do you believe that this stereotype is appropriate? Remember, when I look at stereotype, we try to generalize, but a lot of people, if I'm looking at stereotypes, look at baby boomers as slow to learn. They don't understand technology. And that could be true to some cases, but it also could be a stereotype that's false. That means it's inaccurate. It's just because a lot of people would say it, but in reality, a lot of baby boomers are very, they understand, if you look at the internet going forward, baby boomers, because of work, have been, for lack of better words, forced to use the internet. So when you're looking at when they're ready to retire or looking at different type of job career changes, they are very active in the internet. So going forward, if I'm an internet provider, I can't just assume that the baby boomers do not know how to utilize the technology. Okay, and then look at Generation Y, and then Generation Z is basically they have more purchasing power. All of these different generations, tie that into different social classes that you learned earlier, tie that into different marketing issues, tie that into different cultural, ethnic background, tie that into different religions. Now you have, depending on your target market and who you're selling to, you have different subgroups within all this. Do you see the thing from a marketing strategy? Even though I have a generic strategy, if I'm looking at the iTablet, a lot of people's iTablet figures for the younger generation, maybe from 18 going up to like 40. But people my age, the baby boomers, are also utilizing the tablets to find that, it's easier. It's like a big phone. I can see it better than my phone, and I have the same flexibility, only it's a little bit bigger tablet. I like the way it works. It works out nicer. So you can't just isolate that one group. You just have to know how to market to that group and bring that baby boomers group into your understanding how that customer thinks. Now I've got the generation. Now I've got how, if I'm a Muslim, if I'm a Jewish, if I'm a Christian, or if I'm an atheist, irrelevant. How does that fit into my buying and my purchasing decision? And how do I make decisions in which companies do you? Now you also put it into, I have a social. I'm a very environmentalist. I believe that the environment should be saved for the next generation. So now put that into how I buy product. You see how the complexity of everything that the consumer buys, even though you have a general idea, you still have to have the subgroups and try to target each subgroups to satisfy them, to bring them, to have them understand your product. Okay, so that takes care of the first two chapters. So now you'll have my YouTube that you're watching at now. Next week, what I'm going to do, you're going to do another forum, but the forum is going to be like a homework assignment, so you'll learn how to submit. So don't worry about that next week. This week, so we had the two chapters. Okay, here's what I want you to do with forums. You're going to look at your own generation. In the forums, the first thing you're going to go into the forums, am I a baby boomer, am I X generation, am I Y generation? From the reading, you find out by the different years or the different things which attributes you should have. So you're going to put in the subject matter, I'm a baby boomer, I'm that, and then you're going to answer some of the questions that I have. One of the questions is what inconsistencies that you find from the author stating or stereotyping that you feel from your generation is not true. Okay, so you will write that and why. Give me some information on that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to look at another generation, either within the forum, if I'm a baby boomer, or even talk to a baby boomer that's religious, or talk to a baby boomer that's a Muslim, or talk to a baby boomer that's gay or lesbian. You know what I mean? And try to get some information on a product or something to see how I would communicate to them, and try to have a dialogue to see, hey, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Would this sell to your generation? And try to learn more about that generation. Okay, so now you get the forum going. Remember, your first post is by Tuesday, and then you post to other people, and you're going to have like a virtual. Here's what you're going to learn. If in the readings you can put any kind of communication, hey, I don't understand this from the reading, because someone can explain that term or concept and work it back and forth. I also placed in a video. There's a video that you have is a Toyota Paris a hybrid car. Now, when I look at the video, it's about 10-15 minutes. It's just so it's not always I'm just reading and answering questions. I try to make this online experience very interactive. Remember, the forum replaces the lecture. So now you're going to go in there and then give me some information. What generation you think they're targeting? Now, is that video takes care of the PETA for the monkeys that are, the chimpanzees are in there? Does it take care of the environmentalists for the issue? Does it take care of me as a baby boomer of a new generation that I'm looking at gas? Or am I looking at efficiency and I'm looking at the cost of maintenance? Do you see what I mean? Now, even though the cost of maintenance at high res should be less, hopefully, and leave not such a large environmental footprint, for lack of better words, but does it also help me if I'm just looking at maintenance and cost? And now looking at maintenance cost and environmental aspect may be just an added bonus that I could just show off or told to my friend, look, I've got this car, it's a hybrid, it's good on gas, and I'm also saving the environment. Do you see what I mean? So it's all bundled up and it hits different markets, but or several markets together. Okay, so that's that. Then you have your Blackboard quizzes, and the quizzes, remember, you do the forms, you don't understand it, you do the reading, you do the discussion, look at the video, and then take the quizzes. The quiz is a one-time deal. You have more than enough time, and the quizzes just solidifies everything you learn, and we go forward. All right, so that's it for this week. Welcome to Organizational Behavior, Week 2, covering chapters, what do you call it, chapters 3, which is on what do you call it, American society values, and then chapters 4, which is demographic and social stratification. We have one forum, we have a quiz, we have a video. It's going to be an interesting week, and those of you who are coming in late, remember always there's going to be a video at the beginning. Make sure you look at the orientation video, make sure you look at the forum video that I created, so you kind of know with the forum. I kind of made a little bit of adjustments. I'll be making another video, and I'll have another YouTube to showing you how to submit your homework. So this is interesting. This is a good class. It's a good size small class. It's about anywhere between 7 and 15 or 20 students. If everything goes well, the smaller the better. It makes it similar to what you'll be working as a team in the virtual office at work, face to face, but also you'll be doing Skype or videoing or conferencing and talking or communicating through email or social media, blogs or anything else. So welcome again, and you made it to the first week. Most of you are all doing A's, B's. Don't worry, the class is set up with remember, the forms are easy, 20 points. Next week I have another form just so you have any questions about the way this class is laid out, and it'll be an easy, quick 5 points, a little assignment. So you're doing well, and I enjoy meeting all of you. One day I'd like to have a YouTube for all of you so I can kind of see who I'm talking to on the other side, but you're doing well. So this is Marketing 247, organizational behavior in week 2, covering chapters 3 and 4, utilizing Blackboard Course Management System. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and I'll see you in the forum in a little bit. Bye.